Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Steal These Ideas, your 2016 Holiday Email Inspiration Guide. My name is Leah, and I'll be your moderator today. I'm part of the demand generation team here at Movable Inc. I'd like to take a minute and introduce today's speaker, Chris Copiar. So Chris is an Associate Account Director here at Movable Inc. He's based in our San Francisco office, and Chris is one of our platform experts, and he leads the way on several key accounts that we have on the West Coast. So before we get started, and while you're looking over today's agenda, I'm just going to go over a few housekeeping items. So we are recording the webinar today, and as soon as we have that available, we will send it out to everyone who's registered. The slides will be included as well. And if you have any questions during the webinar about any of the content that we're speaking about, or email strategy, or just anything really, please feel free to submit them at any time through the questions panel within BrightTalk. We will answer them at the end of our webinar during our Q&A session. I also will add that there is an infographic and a holiday playbook listed in the attachments panel at the bottom of your BrightTalk screen. And those have some relevant data and insights that feed really nicely into today's presentation. If you want to access them during or after, they will live in the BrightTalk listing as well. And finally, don't forget to join the conversation on Twitter or social media. So our Twitter handle is @Movable Inc. and Chris's is @CCopiar, CKOPYAR. And you can also use today's hashtag, Steal These Ideas. And with that, I'll hand it over to Chris.
Thank you, Leah. Very excited to have everyone joining us today for our annual Steal These Ideas holiday email marketing session. So we're very excited every time this time of year comes around. We have a lot of really great conversations going on with our over 400 plus enterprise level clients, and what we've done here is really kind of combine the course of conversation from all of those discussions that are going on right now. So what we're going to do is give you insights and tips and a planning guide, the same types of strategies that we are going to market with our top enterprise level clients this holiday season. So with that, let's go ahead and give a little bit of context to today's discussion. So, holiday campaigns are happening, planning is happening earlier and earlier every year, earlier than ever before. This is something that you may have heard from us last year and the year before, but that trend continues to push forward today. Something I'm sure we're not all surprised to hear as email marketers. In fact, we see a number of our clients launching campaigns, holiday campaigns, even earlier than ever. The first of those we've seen launching in August. Now we're into the dead heat of September, and we're about to hit that time of year where we expect to see that greatest spike for first holiday campaign deployments this year, which is October, with over 33% of email marketers expecting to launch their holiday campaigns in early October this year. So that means for you that the competition for attention in the inbox is greater this year than it ever has been before. And in fact, not only are email marketers planning to launch their campaigns earlier this year than ever before, but over 40% of holiday shopping is happening before Halloween. So your customers, your audience is in that holiday mindset earlier this year than they ever have been before, with 61% of shoppers starting before Thanksgiving. So we often think of Black Friday as the official kickoff of the holiday shopping season. Not so much the case this year. While Black Friday will be the number one day for us all in the email marketing industry, where we'll really see that spike in shoppers' behavior, we're now seeing a much longer tail view, which for us as marketers means we need to be a little bit more intelligent, and we need to be speaking to that audience that is in that holiday mindset much earlier than we generally do with that cadence. And to help us give a useful overview of the holiday season this year and those key milestone dates, we have a handy little calendar here for you. A number of our clients at Movable Inc. have been planning their holiday campaigns since early August. I'm sure many of you on the line today have been doing the same as well. And we've even seen a lot of movement in early September with drafting first campaigns, with reviewing that creative and finalized creative for a number of those campaigns in early September. So what a lot of marketers are doing this year is really kind of getting ahead of the game. We all may not know exactly what our holiday cadence or our offers or incentives or those hooks for our customers may look like down to a T at this point. But what we do know is that we can start to prepare for the holiday season. We can build a number of intelligent content automations that are going to be easily adaptable for our campaigns. And that's where we really see marketers getting ahead of the game this year, is preparing all of those repurposable automations that you can put into play that are scalable and easily worked into your campaigns as that gets more fleshed out the closer we get to the actual holiday season. A number of other key dates here just to be mindful of. Again, October 1st, we're seeing a lot of action around launching those initial holiday campaigns in October this year. Planning your first post-holiday campaign around October 10th. So what we would advise you is don't just be thinking about the lead up to the holidays. Think about what's going to happen after those holidays, right? A number of shoppers of your customers are going to be engaging with you post-holiday season. They're looking for those after-holiday deals. And there's lots we can do now to lay the groundwork to plan for those campaigns today. Moving into November, Black Friday emails, Thanksgiving, actually the actual Black Friday event itself, Cyber Monday, another that entire kind of cyber week for us beginning on the 28th, another great opportunity for us to take advantage of kind of that shifting customer behavior. A number of us on the line today are going to be looking to drive foot traffic to brick and mortar retail stores, which we have a number of strategies here to help enable you to do that, but also meet your customers where they want to meet you. Many of us are seeing a shifting behavior where Black Friday may be our kind of top shopping day in store, but that Cyber Monday week is super important that we are building an experience for those customers that choose to meet us online and would prefer to do their shopping there. Moving into December, last day for ground shipping, last day for rush shipping on the 23rd. Some of you may hear this referred to as last sleigh day. It's the last sleigh out of the North Pole where you can still get those gifts in time for the holidays for your family and friends. Hanukkah this year beginning on the 24th. Christmas Day the 25th, and then again New Year's Eve on the 31st. And we will encourage you, think about New Year's Eve. Many of us tend to kind of glance over New Year's Eve. We feel like we've got through the bulk of our holiday marketing emails, that there may not be as much shopping going on at that time. For many of us, that may not be the case. But this is definitely an opportunity for you to build a campaign that is much more focused on the user journey, the user experience, where you're celebrating kind of this milestone in date and time, and taking a reflection, your history, your relationship with that customer, with that recipient over the last year. We see a ton of engagement play for those types of campaigns. A lot of really positive response from your audience that's going to result in increased open rates in the future. That plays towards retention for your audience, recognizing that relationship at a very personal level. And then January 1st, Hanukkah ending with New Year's Day. So definitely take note of this calendar when you do download this guide following today's presentation. Keep in mind that these are the same dates and same milestones that your competition is looking at, and this is your opportunity to get ahead of the game today. And then when we are looking at those dates and when we are planning for the holiday season, micro moments matter. People like to shop on their own time, right? So let's talk a little bit first about some of the stats around your changing user base's behavior at this time of year. 41% of customers don't rely on Cyber Monday as much as they used to. Again, talking about that wider window throughout that entire week of Cyber Monday, or perhaps you're looking for deals earlier in the year. That's why you're seeing that kind of shifting behavior in your user base. You're looking for deals spread out within a larger window. 52% no longer rely on Black Friday as much as they used to, right? And 54% plan to shop on their smartphone in spare moments throughout the day. And this is where micro moments come into play, right? So these micro moments are going to be the shifts, represent the shifts in behavior during the holiday season, but taking into account how does a user's journey, how does a user's experience change during the holidays? You are traveling during the holidays, right? That's where a lot of this behavior with shopping on smartphones is going to come into play. You might not have as much time, but you do have kind of time to hop on your phone and maybe do a bit of shopping there, right? Maybe you're traveling to family or friends. Maybe you're slammed at work during this time of year and you're trying to get ready for that extended holiday vacation. Maybe you're looking to shop for coworkers or friends or family that you normally wouldn't shop for throughout this time of year. What does that experience look like for you as a shopper? There are new considerations for you that are changes, breaks in your standard behavior as normal, right? So you're going to be shopping not only for different products, for different people, you're going to be doing that in different ways. Perhaps for friends or coworkers, you're looking for a lower cost gift, right? Maybe for certain friends or family, you're looking to buy something for those folks that is separate from what you've purchased in the past, right? So what are you going to think about, when you're shopping for a friend or a family member, right? How does that change the user experience? So really just kind of think about that as we're crafting these holiday planning campaigns. You know, this is why targeting off of last purchase during the holidays may not be indicative of providing you with a personalized shopping recommendation during the holidays, because throughout most of the year, you tend to be shopping for yourself, right? 9 months out of the year, you have a very predictable shopping pattern. These are the types of products I like. These are my preferences. These are the styles or colors or brands that I normally choose. That 100% changes from this point through the end of the year, right? So what are the ways that we can capture those shifting behaviors and take advantage of those micro moments to create a user journey and a user experience that's going to inspire you to continue to purchase? Talking about shopping on your mobile phone, this is something we all know, but this graph is a great way to kind of reinforce that mobile-first behavior. Opens 69% happening on a mobile device. Retail conversions, 55% on desktop. Apparel conversions, 67% on mobile, right? So 67% on mobile throughout this year. That is a big change in behavior over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, customers, your audience, was comfortable with opening emails on their iPhone device. But the audience in general still wasn't very comfortable making purchases on smartphones. That is no longer the case. Your audience is now very comfortable with making purchases on their smartphone devices. So not only are those almost 70% of opens, that first touch point, that impression you're making, that one chance you have to grab that attention, now almost on par with that is the amount of conversions that are going to happen on that same device. So we can't say this enough, mobile first strategies when it comes to any of your campaigns, right? This is a shift in mindset for many of us as marketers, but please do be aware that this is of paramount importance for you, and you can be sure that this is something that your competition certainly has in mind. Also to mention this year, Gmail app, Gmail inbox, right, on mobile devices. they've just announced that now they're going to be supporting fully responsive design, which means fully responsive emails by the end of this month into early October are now going to be almost the universal experience for any user on a mobile device and handset. So do keep those in mind. And as we move into Black Friday, again, talking about those micro moments, now 76% of your opens are going to be happening on a mobile device, right? So you can see that's where that shift in behavior is going to come into play. And think about that experience of the micro moments for a shopper on Black Friday. You know, a number of us have tradition with family members, with friends, of meeting the morning after Thanksgiving and going out all day to brick and mortar stores and shopping and looking for specific deals. But you can bet that same audience is opening their emails while they're grabbing a coffee, while they're in between stores, or while they are in your store looking to see if there are any deals available to them. So some important stats for us to keep in mind here. 83% of retailers send holiday-themed campaigns. Inboxes are going to be packed. Again, another trend we see continuing to rise. That competition for the inbox is going to be greater this year than it was the year before. And despite those high volumes of those holiday campaigns, open rates are up 15.5% during the holidays compared to 14.2% for all other emails, right? So again, an opportunity for us, a challenge, and at the same time, an opportunity. There's more emails in the inbox. You have more interest from your audience at this time of year. They're going to be opening those emails, but you have less of a chance to grab someone's attention. So if you don't have a very personalized campaign or a personalized hook for that user, you're going to lose their attention, right? But you do know now that you have a greater opportunity at this time of year than you do at any other time of year to create an optimized experience. And that's where you're going to meet your customers in that inbox. 25% increase in transaction rates for holiday emails versus non-holiday emails, right? And 18% increase in revenue for holiday emails versus non-holiday emails. So important to remember from this point moving forward through the end of this year, through that New Year's Day, you're going to get more juice out of your campaigns if not only are they holiday themed, but you're also going to see a 2-3 times increased return on those campaigns when they are personalized and live and contextual, but most importantly, personalized and giving smart, intelligent recommendations to your audience. A couple last points here before we move into the ideation section of today's presentation. Here are 5 contextual tactics that brands are planning on using. 41% are planning on using behavioral triggered content, right? So behavioral triggered content is looking at your audience's actions in real time and triggering communications and optimizing experiences in emails maybe they've already deployed. On that next open, retailers are planning on taking that action that's happening, living, breathing in real time, and bringing those into campaigns. We won't get into it too much today, but there's a number of ways that we can help enable you to take advantage of that live behavioral content. So definitely those of you who are MoveLink clients, do reach out to your account teams. Some kind of very new and exciting ways we can help you enable this process to make it automated and scalable and attainable during this year's holiday season. 34% of brands are planning on personalizing recommendations based on purchase data. And again, keep this in mind. Last purchase, if that last purchase has happened a few months ago, let's talk about ways that we can get even more intelligent with those recommendations that we're making. 17% of brands are planning post-purchase upsell and cross-sell emails. And these post-purchase upsell and cross-sell emails have real impact on your bottom line and performance of your campaigns during this holiday season. And they're also a great user experience because now your audience knows that you are actively listening to what they are telling you and you are creating a better experience for them based on that. And 8% are planning on using package tracking within their email campaigns, right? That is a very low number for a very scalable and impactful user experience enhancement that you can be adding to your transactional emails. We're going to look at an example of this today. But what that 8% means to you is that is only 8% of brands that are planning on doing this today, which means you can be first to market, and that is something you can set yourself as a differentiator against your competitors. Trends to watch: user-generated content. We have a world of content at our fingertips. Our audience, our brand advocates, want to advocate for us. And 57% of retailers this year are planning on using user-generated content. And many of them are collecting their UGC to use in their holiday campaigns right now, right? And there's ways we can help enable you to do that. But this helps to kind of meet that challenge we have as marketers to now be content generators and creating experiences in email that are going to keep our audience in channel even when they're not ready to purchase or convert. And right before we move into these ideas, let's ask ourselves these questions. And let's keep these questions in mind as we are looking at these ideas that we're about to present to you, and you think about how to apply these to your program. So the first of those being, what if we could turn a customer into a brand advocate? Are we meeting our customers where they're meeting us? Right? Are we kind of executing campaigns as we've always done? And have we taken a real hard look at our own programs to determine, have we moved where our customers have moved? Does our content drive our audience to act faster? Is there urgency? Is there a reason to act, right? A real reason beyond just an incentive. That's what drives behavior. And what data do we have that our competition doesn't? These are hidden opportunities. Within your program, there are ways that we can surface data on your audience in real time that you can, in an automated fashion, build scalable personalizations into your campaigns. And again, differentiators beyond the next biggest offer or next biggest incentive. That's what helps build brand advocates. And with that said, we're going to move into the Steal These Ideas section. So very excited to walk through some of the examples. What we're going to look at today, again, is based on the conversations that we're having with these 400 plus enterprise level clients. So you're going to get an insight into some actionable takeaways that you can apply to your programs this holiday season that are going to drive revenue and create efficiencies. And the first of those, calling back to that 8% of brands that are planning on using live order tracking, shipping status in their emails, here's how we do that. And here, first of all, is why is that important? What is the number one reason for calls to our call center during the holiday season? What's my order status, right? That's the number one reason. So this is going to reduce calls to customer service centers. You've purchased, here's your holiday-themed transactional email with a live shipping tracker embedded. This is going to increase open rates. Your customers are going to come back and continue to reopen these emails, right? So we're going to call out, hey, reopen this email to see in real time just where your package is tracking. That means you don't have to log into the website, right? And that's something we know that just a number of customers are reticent to do. Why log into the website if I could simply reopen an email? This is also going to now enable you to cross-sell with product recommendations in an email. Because this is going to be one of your highest open emails of the year, these transactional emails, these confirmation emails, because you're going to increase the amount of opens for this email because your customers are going to be coming back to see where their order status is, you're going to have more eyeballs on that 20% of the email that you can dedicate to cross-sell products or upsell products. And again, all of this 100% automated and opportunities to create that incremental revenue in a very organic fashion in your holiday campaigns. And finally, drive last-minute sales with shipping date reminders, right? So we can continue to educate our audience. So within these same emails, for that same reason, more eyeballs, more opens, more attention, more value in this email. Now we can also, help drive home those other messages. Last sleigh day, last day for standard ground shipping, last day for overnight shipping, right? Hey, there's still time to buy a gift card. Those are things that we can include in these campaigns. Right, and here's where we can get an example of how we can pull in a few of those recommendations, and we already know what you've purchased, so it makes it much easier for us to provide in real time what is the available inventory of products that are related to the interest you've already expressed to us. And that'll take us into evergreen shipping banner. If there is one of the takeaways from today that I would say is the easiest thing that you can do this season in your holiday program, that is going to be an evergreen shipping banner, right? So let customers know how much or how little time they have to act. A number of our clients create these evergreen shipping banners. An evergreen shipping banner is simply a banner that you place in all of your holiday emails. You create it once. You drop it into all of your emails. And then based on time sensitivity, that banner is going to change, right, to say, here's how many days you have left to ship. How many more days do you have? You can have a countdown in that. You could simply have a very static message that says express shipping available today for free. Last day for ground shipping, last day for overnight shipping. Hey, there's still no more time to ship, but here's your closest store. Here's the hours for that store. You can still go in today and buy that last-minute gift. Once that time has passed, for that ultimate last-minute shopper, we have all been there. We will have a percentage of our audience that is just going to exhibit that behavior. Oh, I just popped in for the holidays to visit the family, and I didn't know great uncle so-and-so would be attending, right? You can still go on and buy a gift card today, right? So this is a very easy, not only value add for your customers, but this is going to help you automate your campaigns. Why create these multiple versions of shipping banners in multiple emails when you can create it once and have it be a living, breathing piece of content that you simply copy and paste into all of your campaigns during the holiday season? And location personalization. So when we are looking to drive foot traffic, increase foot traffic to our brick and mortar stores, we are able to detect your location at the moment of open. Why wouldn't we use that to our advantage to say, here's your closest store? And many of us may be doing this throughout the year, but what we may not be doing and what is different for us in our businesses during the holiday season is that many of our stores and locations are going to have special holiday hours. And how do we educate our audience about that? Again, last click or last purchase data may be unreliable during this holiday season. If you have purchased some gifts while you are at home in California, and maybe you're traveling to New York for the holidays, and we as a marketer send you an email to say, hey, our store on Market Street in San Francisco is now open to such and such a time, why would we not take advantage of the fact that we know you are now in New York? There is a store closer to you. You probably want to go out shopping with your friends and family. You probably couldn't bring all those gifts with you on the plane. You want to do a bit of shopping while you were there. So let's expose to you the new holiday hours for these stores and locations. In addition to that, if there are any events going on, holiday events in those stores, these are things that we can surface and make local maps work for us. And live social feeds. So again, calling back to the fact that greater than 50% of retail brands today are collecting UGC, this user-generated content that they can use in their holiday campaigns. Let's use these live social feeds, not only to kind of capture that increase in traffic happening on the brand in our Twitter feeds, in our Instagram feeds, but we're also able to use this content to target content that our audience is creating. So maybe we're saying, hey, show us your greatest holiday holiday look, right? Maybe we're a retail clothing apparel company. We want to start collecting this content and targeting this content that lives out in the wild today, and bring those into our campaigns to not only create these brand advocates, not only to start creating this kind of social validation. We know that customers are more likely to buy from us when a friend of yours tells you to buy from us over us as the brand, as the marketer, telling you why you should purchase from us. A lot of great reasons and a lot of great ways you can make social work for you within your campaign based on what your objectives are for those campaigns. And device targeting, right? So we've covered a bit of this earlier today. We know that our audience is meeting us in mobile. We know that from Black Friday on, greater than 70% of opens are going to be occurring on mobile devices, where those micro moments count. So rather than just changing the layout of a campaign based on the screen size of a device, which is how many marketers handle their responsive content, we are talking about changing the experience, personalizing the experience. Can we show less content? Can we show more offers? Hey, does it take more of an offer to incentivize your audience to purchase on a mobile device than it does on desktop? Can we save money by reducing the amount of an incentive that we are offering if a user is opening on a desktop versus opening on a mobile device? There is a world of opportunities for us here in this mobile-first world that we live in, but of paramount importance, understanding that those opens are going to be happening faster, there's going to be more of them, but the attention span is going to be lower. And the attention span is lower because many marketers are not sending personalized campaigns, and personalizations have an impact. Next, name, weather, and location personalization. So when you hear us at MoveLink talk about personalization, it encompasses many different things, right? And some of those do include the name. So you can see in this example, Courtney, it's cold outside in New York today. So we have done three things here very simply in an automated fashion. One, we know your name. We know that, most importantly, your first name doesn't work anymore. Not only doesn't it work, it actually offends the audience. But when you can use a first name personalization in a very genuine manner, you can retain your brand fonts. Maybe some of you don't know that this is something that we enable you to do as MoveLink. Use any type of font you would like. We know where your location is, and we've set some rules to say, hey, it's below a certain temperature, so we're going to tell you it's cold outside today in New York because we know you are in New York. We're going to change that background image, and then we're going to make this offer more personalized, more relevant to you. We are now having a conversation with you as the customer. And these types of simple personalizations are quite a bit more easy to execute on than you may think, right? But we also know that they drive behavior. They drive engagement. They drive click-throughs. And more importantly, they drive more qualified traffic, meaning that that's going to result in increased conversions. And, we talked a little bit about, a number of retailers this year, a number of brands, even those outside of retail, are planning on personalizing campaigns based on last purchase or last click behavior. But we talked also about micro moments and how that user behavior shifts and why last purchase or last click may not always be the most reliable method of personalizing our campaigns. And this is where the MoveLink technology for live polling for the purposes of progressive profiling comes into play. One of the things we're most excited about, but most importantly, not one of the things we're just most excited about, that a number of our clients are excited about. In every vertical, we see progressive profiling as a manner of empowering you to automate personalizations in your future campaigns. You're going to capture in real time the shifting user behavior. In this example we're looking at here, we're simply, we have a nice engagement hook here, right? So we're gamifying this experience. We're not telling you tell us who you want to shop for this holiday season. That doesn't work. This has to be a strategic approach, a gamified approach. So we're asking you, who's the hardest to shop for, right? It gets you to think a bit as the customer, and it gets you into kind of a bit of an engagement, right? And now we're simply saying family, coworkers, or friends. We're going to use that data later to say, hey, here are gift recommendations when you're buying for friends or coworkers or family. But think about this. This is a very general example. Think about where your greatest opportunities are. If you had these 3 pieces of data on your customer that you knew were reliable, how could you use this? What are the 3 greatest opportunities that you have for creating personalized experiences in your holiday campaigns? And that's what we in the client experience department will come back and help you craft an experience that is going to allow you to create a real personalized journey for the customer during this holiday season. So again, this is going to allow us to gather intel, fill in those gaps in the data, most importantly, provide us with much more reliable data during the holiday season. This is going to allow us to, in the next email, send, a retargeted email based on your preference. Again, now we know that this is a reliable preference. We have some short-term benefits for us as well, right? So this gamification is going to increase engagement. Users are going to click through in these emails across the board. We always see that these campaigns are much more highly engaged with because it elicits an emotional response. You are rewarded as the customer for sharing your opinion because you can come back to this email and reopen it and now see the impact of that vote. So you have a bit of a validation for saying, hey, my selection is in the lead. Or you are inspired to say, hey, here is what my opinion is. I want to help get that to be number 1, right? So you're creating an emotional engagement and a conversation with your audience, right? You're not just talking at them. Now you're talking with them. And to note on deployment for this, no integration required with your website, right? That has always been a big challenge for me when I was running my email marketing program, when I was a client of NewBlank, right? Hey, I don't have time to work with a web team. We can't develop a new web page. This empowers you as the marketer to create and craft these experiences in a much more efficient manner, in a manner that is automated and scalable within your program, that's going to give you that data that you can now use throughout the rest of the holiday season to create a more personalized experience. And that moves us directly into automated retargeting based on these live polling results, right? So following up with your audience based on these kind of progressive profiles that you're building throughout this holiday season, the relevant offers increase sales. Relevant offers increases qualified traffic. You are going to create a better user experience. You're going to build a better connection with your audience. That's how you're going to help start building these brand advocates. Hey, I just told so-and-so brand that this is the hardest thing for me during this holiday season, and now they've solved a problem for me. So now as the marketer, you are a problem solver, and you're going to create a relationship with that customer that extends beyond the offer or the incentive. And again, ways that this can be 100% automated. Clients who are deploying these types of campaigns today already have their automated follow-up email ready to go before that first live polling email even hits the door. And then you can use these results with these automations throughout the rest of the year. And how do we do that? And how do we enable you as the marketer to make this automation attainable? Dynamic web cropping, right? So web cropping is a technology that allows you to reach out to your website or to an API or data feed that you have. And we will simply pull in relevant products. Your design team provides us with a layout, much like you would do for a website today. When you're displaying products on a website, you don't ask your design team to create a new web page every single time that you have new products, right? Why would you do that within your email program when you don't have to? Your design team simply provides us with a layout, and then we dynamically populate all these items based on what lives on your website, right? So we can pull in any content from your website. We can reconfigure it Maybe we don't want to display the price. Maybe we do. Maybe we want to add a call to action. Maybe we don't, right? All of this 100% customizable, but most importantly for you, this is going to supercharge your ability to be much more nimble and much more personalized during this holiday season. And then you take out of the equation, oh, hey, we're about to launch campaign X, but we just we fell below inventory on these other products. We're about to pull them from the website. Hey, email team, can you go ahead and just whip up another email for us where we're going to completely change our product, right? Now you're going to be in completely 100% lockstep with your website. Automated, take that off your plate, spend more time focusing on strategy. Another great play during the holiday season is leveraging video. So this kind of animation in email brings it to life. Oftentimes, our product teams will be providing us with more videos during the holiday season than we may have outside of the holiday season. Holiday-specific videos, holiday videos for products, right? So this is going to have more of a play for you in terms of engagement, capturing that user attention at the time of open, that animation within the email. So this would actually be moving and coming to life as a user opens this email, right? That's where you're going to see that click-through rate boost by 200-300%. That's where you're going to see those conversion rates boost. And the word video in a subject line can also influence your open rates. And that's something we can touch back on all the way from live polling, vote now, up through to video, up through to web cropping, products just for you, see what just dropped on the website in real time, open today. This is how MoveLink is now going to empower you. And this is how these strategies are going to empower you to influence open rates before a user even sees the content in the email, because you're going to make a promise in that subject line of a really awesome, dynamic, personalized experience in the email, and you're going to be able to follow through on that promise, right? This won't be a one-trick pony for you. Your audience is going to understand that when you, as the marketer, say, I have something special for you in this email, you actually will at the time it's open. And then a number of us, a couple last examples to look at here, a number of us are going to have very time-sensitive offers to create urgency during this time of year, right? So this is where time-sensitive content comes into play. Right? And, you know, a number of us are familiar with countdown timers, which are a great kind of addition to a campaign, but much more important for us is the content in the email and the messaging, right? So personalized messaging is going to add a value and is going to be very clear, inspire behavior, but most importantly is never going to close the door on conversion. So this example we have here, we're looking at 3 different states of the same exact email. Today's featured deal, 25% off select foods. 12 days of deal. Here's the countdown to the next deal. So we are using a bit of time sensitivity into here, and we're actually unveiling these deals in the email as we hit these different hours. But most importantly, what happens when that offer expires, and what behavior are we used to? Our customers, our audience is going to open an email, and we ask them to look at the offer and think, is this offer still available anymore? It creates a friction point. And oftentimes it also creates a negative experience when you don't pay attention to the expiration deal in an email, and you go to the website and you try to redeem that deal. Maybe you've gone through that whole process of finding all the products that you love, that you want to buy, and then you finally get to the checkout. You go to enter that coupon, and it's like, sorry, this coupon is no longer available, right? That's a real letdown. So this is a way for us to get ahead of that, but also to train our audience, right? So they will know that the next time they receive an email from you where you say that this offer is only available to a certain date, you better buy it today. Don't wait. Don't say, hey, I'm going to wait till maybe I get home later tonight, or I'm going to wait till tomorrow when I have a little bit more time. You're going to know you need to act today. It's going to create urgency, which is, in the long term going to train your audience to open emails faster and convert quicker. And then most importantly, not closing that door on conversion. We're going to tell them, sorry, this deal has expired, but guess what? There's still awesome ways that you can shop and save with us today. And when you click this button right now, we're going to take you to that page. Maybe it's a deals page or a sales page or what's new, right? So we're always going to leave that door open. We see that on average, techniques like these, when we do have these time-sensitive offers and promotions, that when you do swap that messaging out, you're going to squeeze anywhere between another 7 to 13% out of those campaigns, right? So let's look very conservatively at that 7% number. Take that 7% times your whole holiday season, or times a whole year within your program, right? That adds up to real revenue impacts. And these time-sensitive reveals, again, urge customers to act faster with a banner that automatically updates, telling you how much time that you have left. So perhaps it's not only telling you how much time you have left, maybe we're telling you, hey, open this email in an hour and our flash sale is about to drop, right? So there's also ways that we can use this to build urgency and excitement in our campaigns. And with that, we're now going to move into the key takeaways from today's presentation. So these are the most important things to remember to help you stay ahead of the competition, to stand out in the inbox, and most importantly, craft a really personalized user journey within your holiday campaigns this season that are going to have a positive impact on your bottom line. So first of those being live order tracking emails with product recommendations and shipping time reminders to drive last-minute sales and to create that kind of ultimate standout brand experience that's going to help convert your customers into brand advocates. Location personalization to drive traffic to local foot stores. Again, take advantage, keep micro moments in mind, keep the shifting behaviors and shopping in mind during this season. Use to your advantage the fact that you know your audience is going to be traveling for the holidays and that you can drive more foot traffic to those local stores and also give a more relevant experience by surfacing those holiday hours. Live social feeds featuring user-generated content are perfect for promoting seasonal events. Again, let's give that validation from your friends and from the audience in general to let those users not only create content for us, but to give that validation that we are a brand that you want to connect with. Stay up to speed with your customers' holiday shopping behaviors with live polling and retargeted emails. Again, this is a really excellent way to seamlessly and organically collect much more reliable data and then automatically repurpose that in our campaigns. That is going to result in that short-term engagement play and that longer-term impact on conversions and revenue. Create dynamic emails with web cropping. Hey, automate your campaigns as much as you can this holiday season. This allows you to be much more nimble. Instead of staying at the office until, maybe 10 o'clock at night because, product has changed all of the promotions and the products that we want to promote in our emails. Now we can just kind of very quickly and nimbly update those web crops we have in place and have that be done for us. Boost your click-through rate, email opens, and engagement with video in emails, and swap out expired offers to drive additional revenue. So keep these kind of key takeaways in mind. But again, let's craft this all around those first 4 questions we opened this discussion today with, keeping in mind those micro moments that are going to drive user behavior.
Great. Well, thank you for all of that information, Chris. And now it's time for some Q&A. And before we hop into it, I received a few notes from the audience that the infographic link was not working. We will send it out when we send out the recording, and I apologize for that. But it's also available on our website right now. If you just go onto the Movable Ink homepage, it's one of the featured pieces of content. Just wanted to put that out there before we hop into questions. So the first question that we have is, okay, we've been talking about everything that you should do during the holidays. What shouldn't you do? Like, what doesn't work during the holidays?
Very good question. There are a number of lessons that have been learned by marketers over the year that we can take into account for our holiday planning. What doesn't work? We know that very generalized campaigns don't work like they used to. Just simply increasing the cadence and quantity of emails that you're deploying and not spending more time on providing value-driven messaging in those emails, right? That's what works, is more personalized communications and value adds in our campaigns. What doesn't work is just simply doing more of the same, right? Just sending batch and blast emails. That doesn't work. Non-personalized offers. Kind of one of the ways that we as marketers have compromised at not having resources at our disposal in the past that allow us to create these personalized campaigns based on expirable inventory or doorbuster deals that may sell out very quickly, is that we create these kind of very general image collages, right? And we throw kind of a one-size-fits-all approach at our audience. That does not work.
Cool. Next question. So this relates specifically to pulling a live social feed into email. How do you filter out any negative sentiments or just negative posts on social media that's being pulled into an email live?
Perfect question. So curation of that content is of paramount importance for us as the brand. And, we don't only want to retain our brand voice in the marketing that we deploy, but we also want to have that level of precaution in place for these user-generated content pieces in our email. And there's a number of ways that we can enable you to do that. If you're a larger brand or a very social-focused brand, you likely have a social team today that has a level of curation in place that we can simply tap into that process and automatically bring those curations into your program today. For those of you that don't, it is very there are some very kind of simple methods we can use to enable you to make user-generated content work for you and to put levels of curation into place, and that's something that we can definitely have a deeper conversation with you with once we kind of get a lay of the land of how your social works within your organization.
Great. And then one final question that I just received from the audience. So there are, I think 6 or 7 key takeaways on this screen. We kind of walked through a lot of different use cases and content and ideas for this year. I guess, is there one or maybe even 2 in particular that stand out to you as trendy or really, really on point for 2016 specifically?
Absolutely. I can kind of boil what we see as, kind of the crux of many of our conversations up into intelligent content design. And intelligent content design means putting automations in place that are going to allow you to personalize in a scalable method that is attainable for your program. So that combination of web prompts, that combination of data preference repurposement, which might sound scary, but it's actually quite a bit more straightforward than you may think. That is where we see the biggest trends going to this year. Value adds to your campaigns, quality over quantity. We know that batch and blast doesn't work. We know that general messaging doesn't work. So those content marketers, those contextual marketers that are getting the most value out of their programs are those that are focused on intelligent content design. And specifically for these holiday campaigns, if you're not quite there yet, focus on the automations. Right, free up your time to be a bit more strategic, but get as far ahead of the game as you can. Once you have those automations at play, it's going to open up a whole world for you in terms of how you can start personalizing your program in a scalable, attainable method.
Great. And I think with that, we are going to wrap up. Thanks again for joining us today. And if you're curious to learn more after the webinar, again, I will send out the attachments, the infographic, and the ebook that are available on our website. And you can also feel free to reach out to our team via contact@movableinc.com. Again, thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all.